Today I'm going to discuss the most important topic is functional and communicative translation. It is the most important topic of the translation students who are pursuing translation in BA program and in the translation subject as a English orders. In the functional theory, there are three language functions: expressive, informative, directive, and these are the other parts and the vocative, communicative translations. So, here I'm going to discuss what is the functional translation. Expressive. Expressive functionals means express the speaking feeling. This focuses on the addresses. It means that the speaker addresses a message. The aim of the expressive function is to convey the speaker's emotions or expressions. The expressive function means express the speaker's feeling, what the speaker want to say and which kind of a feeling he or she have. This focuses on the addressers. It means that the speaker addresses a message. He or she wants to convey a message through her or his feeling. The aim of the expressive function is to convey the speaker's emotions or expressions. While a person try to convince, while a person try to make other happy, so this kind of efforts he or she doing with his or her speaking language and body language, which express the actual feeling of a person, what he wants to say. The aim of a direct expressions of the speaker's attitude toward what he is speaking about. For example, speaking, gesturing, smiling, writing, pointing. So here we have some examples. The aim of our directive expressions of the speaker attitude towards what he is speaking about. For example, speaking, gesturing, smiling, writing, pointing. Okay. The next point is informative functions. The informative function affirms or denies propositions as in science or the statement of fact. The informative function affirms or denies propositions as in science or the statement of the fact. When a person tries to inform someone the action is happening, the action is happened. So this kind of a informative function is doing by a person. This is called a informative language function. When a person try to inform someone what is happening here and what is going to happen here, what is going to happen. So this kind of a informative language function is used again and again in our translation procedure. While we are reading a newspaper, while we are listening or watching a TV, it is called the informative function language. This function is used to describe the world or reason about it. For example, a person who says that the sky is blue is using the language to inform the others about a known fact. As I have discussed with you, the function is used to describe the world or reason about it. For example, a person who says that the sky is blue is using a language to inform other about a known fact. Directive language. The next point is directive language. Directive language is most commonly found in command and request. For example, close the windows. You are smoking in a non-smoking area. So these are the example of command and request. When a person is standing, close the door, the other person command him, please close the door. It is the command to the other person. And you are smoking in a non-smoking area, it is the request to a person to person requesting to not smoke in a non-smoking area. Now the next one is vocative expressions. A vocative expression is the expression in which the grammatical cases which is used for a noun that identifies. Vocative expressions. A vocative expression is the expression in which the grammatical cases which is used for a noun that identifies. So, for example, a person being addresses or occasionally for the determiners of that noun. When we try to address a person or the things and other the name of the place of a person and name of the other things, we are going to discuss the vocative expression. A person being addresses or occasionally for the determiners of that nouns. For example, I don't know John, in which the John is the directive object of the verb known. ठीक है? So when a person addresses a John, I don't know John. So John is the vocative expression. John is the direct object of the verb known. Okay. The next one is the communicative translation. The communicative translations attempt to produce on its reader and fact as close as possible to that obtained on the reader of the original. Communicative translations attempt to produce on its readers an effect as close as possible to that obtained on the readers of the originals. So, communicative translation is all about the when a person try to produce translations, attempt to produce on its reader an effect as close as possible. Communicative translations tries to render the exact contextual meaning of the original in such a way that both content and language are readily acceptable and comprehensible to the readership. A communicative translation is all about the when we try to explain the meaning of the sentence while we reading a book or a novel. There is a sentence, and when we try to explain the meaning, actual meaning of the sentence, it is the communicative translation. We try to render the exact contextual meaning of the original in such a way that both content and language are readily acceptable. ठीक है? The content and the language are readily acceptable and comprehensible to the readership. This process is called the communicative translations. So now I have a conclusion of this differentiations of the function and the communicative translation. There are five language functions which are describe the structure of the language functions. For example, expressive, directive, vocative, communicative, and informative translations. So there are so many type of translations who which are really very helpful to translate uh, the language to the other language, and this can be a textual, this can be a communicative, informative, vocative, directive, expressive, as well as the functional, or it will be also a legal translation, and it will be also a technical translation. So there are so many type of translation, and I have discussed with you only five type of translations, which are most important points, which are coming in your exams again and again, and you have to explain it in the 100 to 150 250 words, and the question will be marks like a 25 marks question, and you have to explain in a very deep manner with the example, otherwise you will deduct your marks. Okay, so the question will become in this way: functional and the communicative translation. So you have to, firstly you have to describe all the functional language, like expressive language. Expressive for functions means express the speaker's feelings. This focuses on the addressers. It means that the speaker addresses a message. The aim of a direct expression of the speaker's attitude towards what he is speaking about. For example, speaking, gesturing, smiling, writing, pointing. The next one is informative function. The informative function affirms or denies proposition as in science or the statement of fact. Okay, this function is used to describe word or reason about it. When we are talking about the word or the reason about what is happening in the world, this is called the informative function. For example, a person who says that the sky is blue is using the language to inform the other about a known fact. The next one is directive language. The directive language is most commonly found in the command or the request. When a person tries to command anyone or a request to anyone to do something for him, it is called the directive language. The next one is vocative expression. A vocative expression is the expression in which the grammatical cases which is used for a noun that identifies a person being addresses or occasionally for the determiners of the fact noun. For example, I don't know John, in which the John is the direct object of the verb known. So when we try to address a person, name, or a place or a thing, or this kind of a when we try to address someone or something, name as well as the address, it is called the vocative translation expressions. So there are lots so many type of translations, and there are lots of features of the translation. So here I am discussing with you the function of the language, which is also a part of a translations, which are the also helpful to do the translations while we are doing a technical translation, while we are doing a communicative translations. So this kind of official translations, and the most important things, translation to the one language to the another language. So this kind of a translation process have so many expressions and so many functional language. So as I have discussed with you, so you have to explain all the points in a deep manner. Thank you so much. I hope you like this video, which is very helpful according to your examinations. Thank you so much.